Please click on the subscribe button so you get notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for this week's 5 Flaming Hot Picks. Now, first, let's recap Week 15. We had the Jets -3 over the Jaguars. Jets covered, hit with the touchdown at the end to win that ball game. Bengals -5.5 over the Titans. Bengals blew them out. Cowboys +3 over the Carolina Panthers. Cowboys blew out the Panthers. We knew that was going to happen. Steelers +6 against the Eagles. We had the Eagles winning that game, but we had the Steelers covering. Steelers did not cover, but Eagles did end up winning. So if you took my pick on the money line, you would have made some money. Packers -2.5 over the Seattle Seahawks. Packers blew them out. Blew them out handily. Now that puts us at 45-30 for the season. If you take my picks, you know you're hitting at a 60% clip, which means you're making money more than you're losing it, ladies and gentlemen. So follow for my weekly picks, please, and thank you. Now with that being said, let's transition to Week 16's picks. We got the Browns +9.5 against the Bengals. Now, Joe Burrow's record against the Browns is 2-5, but the 2 victories have come in the last 3 games. Now, with that being said, the games have been relatively close between the Browns and the Bengals, even when Joe Burrow plays. So 9.5 points is a little bit too rich for my blood, especially for a division rivalry game, especially because I believe Jameis Winston is going to be able to put up points against that Bengals defense. So I think this game is going to be very high scoring, and I think the Bengals ultimately will win this game, but it might be by a touchdown. It won't be by 10 points in my personal opinion. It could come down to a field goal. It could be a 45-42 ball game by the end of it all. So Browns +9.5 against the Bengals is the pick, with the Bengals ultimately winning. Pick number 2, I'm taking the Giants +9 against the Atlanta Falcons. This is going to be Michael Penix Jr.'s first NFL start. And with that being said, because it is his first NFL start, I think 9 points for a rookie who's never played a real NFL regular season game is way too many points. The Giants players, even though a lot of them are not going to be back next year, they still want to go out there. They still want to compete. They still want to put out decent tape next year so somebody else can hire them. Somebody else can bring them in. So take the Giants +9 against the Falcons, just for the simple fact that it's Michael Penix Jr.'s first game. I think the Falcons will ultimately win this game. When I'm saying Giants against the Falcons, it's because I think the Falcons with Michael Penix Jr. will find a way to win this game. It'll be a 3-point, it'll be a 7-point game, but I don't think the Falcons are going to blow out the Giants just because it's Michael Penix and they just don't believe in Kirk Cousins. The Giants are rebuilding. They are a bad team. They will ultimately lose this game, but 9 points is just way too much for a rookie that's never seen a regular season game, in my personal opinion. So Giants +9 against the Falcons. Next pick is the Eagles -3.5 over the Commanders. You look at the injury report, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, even though he's dealing with like a broken finger, even Saquon, they're all playing. Lane Johnson playing. The Eagles, they're dealing with injuries, but all their players that are dealing with injuries are still playing this weekend because they're still relatively healthy. The Commanders have not beaten a good team this year. Yes, the Cincinnati Bengals matchup where Joe Burrow is an elite quarterback, in my personal opinion, was phenomenal, but the Bengals have struggled all year. They lost to the Cowboys not too long ago. They already lost to the Eagles earlier this year, quite handily, I think. So this game, because it is at home and the point spread, in my personal opinion, is reasonable, I'm taking the Eagles -3.5 just because their entire team is relatively healthy against the Commanders, who are still inexperienced, even though it is later on in the season, to win this game and clinch the division against the Commanders. So Eagles -3.5 in Washington to beat the Commanders is the pick. Vikings -3 against the Seahawks. Guys, the Minnesota Vikings are a phenomenal team this year. Sam Darnold, my former backup, playing phenomenal football at the moment. Geno Smith had a tough week last week against the Green Bay Packers, and I think Brian Flores' defense is going to cause problems for Geno Smith. Their defense under Brian Flores is elite. I think they're top 5 in the league. Their offense with Kevin O'Connell, Sam Darnold utilizing his weapons, I think it's just too much for Seattle to overcome. The Minnesota Vikings, in my opinion, remind me a lot of my 49ers when we are fully healthy, when we can actually protect our quarterback, when we actually have a top-tier defense, this is what the Niners look like. And that's what the Minnesota Vikings are reminding me of. And I wouldn't be surprised if they make an NFC championship run. But the way the Vikings are playing, ladies and gentlemen, against Seattle, I think Vikings -3 against Seattle is an easy pick this week. Free money, take that pick. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, take my Niners -2 over the Dolphins. Bradley Chubb is not playing. They're dealing with injuries. I think Jalen Waddle is also doubtful for this game. He might be out as well. So even though we're not playing with Trent Williams, who's dealing with not just injuries but personal family matters, and Isaac Warendo's dealing with like a knee injury, our defense is getting healthy. Our defense is back. Talanoa Hufanga is playing. Jair Brown is back. Nick Bosa, even though he didn't practice, I think on Thursday this week, he still practiced Friday. He still practiced Wednesday. I believe he's going to be full go. Dre Greenlaw, he's back. So take my Niners -2 over the Dolphins, especially because we're getting relatively healthy on the defensive side of the ball. And the season's not over. Even though we might not make the playoffs, we still want to end the season on a high note. And if we can manage to go on a 3-game winning streak to end the season, that's going to feel phenomenal for my 49ers moving forward. So Niners -2 over the Dolphins, especially because I feel like the Dolphins are about to let their foot off the gas. Tyreek Hill hasn't had a 100-yard game in 15 or 16 games this year. Jalen Waddle is out. Yes, they have their quarterback in Tua who can distribute the ball, but I still believe with our relatively healthy offensive weapons in Juwan Jennings, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, we'll be able to pick apart their defense, and with our defense also getting healthy, with Hufanga now playing, with Dre Greenlaw now out there, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, I think we're going to easily be able to handle the Miami Dolphins. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, my 5 flaming hot picks for NFL Week 16. Browns +9.5 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Giants +9 against the Falcons. Eagles -3.5 over the Commanders. Vikings -3 against the Seattle Seahawks. And 49ers -2 over the Miami Dolphins. Now, guys, if you're a fan of my picks, please subscribe, like, and comment on the video. Share this with your friends, families, and partners. Make some money with my picks. Listen to my sports takes, or just watch for some positivity. Always remember, desire is power, and if you desire to be great, you have the power to be great. Thank you for watching this week's 5 flaming hot picks. And if you are a fan of my picks and you want to stay in tune with everything that's going on with Anyone from the End Zone, don't forget to subscribe to also my Discord server. Link will be in the bio and in the description for this video as well. And yeah, I appreciate you all. Stay tuned for more and see you next time. Guys, have you heard? Shady Mob Productions is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
You've been blaming me. You've been blaming me. You've been blaming me.